Some people pretty bad with
I
that.
kind of want all my stuff. Like, I'm doing like what's
Yeah, I mean, just do whatever you want, to be honest. Like with the author material folder, people use it a ton. I'll just say the people who use it more, like put more stuff in there, are generally a little more successful. But this is a big midterm week for everyone. Yeah. Yeah, we'll get out a little early, so like, yeah, no, I definitely understand. I'm the same boat, bro. But no, this week's pretty easy for me. Like the last 2 weeks have been brutal. And you're gonna do some book work. Yeah, I know you mean, bro. But that's my plan this week. Just grind on the book. Get this. Nobody else is on yet. Okay. Yep. Should I plug this in? There's like a plug all the way down there, but I don't want to crawl under the table. Guess I will. Slips it in.
Hey,
Yeah, no, I was saying we're gonna get out a little early today.
okay, we're
Because we don't have shit to do. But yeah.
How's it going? Sorry I'm not able to be there soon.
Yeah, Eric's not gonna be here tonight. This won't be like a thing of the norm. It's just kind of like last couple weeks have been crazy for Green Institute. No caller ID. Do I answer it?
yeah, it'll be one of the
Hello. 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 I think you have the wrong number. I don't know who it is. He's like, can I speak to Kevin? And I was like, I don't know who Kevin is. And he was like, hello. He like couldn't. It was weird. Dude, honestly.
You have no reason
No, it's still the new one. You can delete it delivers. On Tap and Go. Yeah.
What's the day that it's like there's a discount?
It's not like completely clear right now though. They're gonna try and bring it back. Yeah.
Where is it?
What is this? Oh yeah, it's like dude, I've gone to Wingo's like twice a week. I eat Wingo's so much, it's not healthy. Yeah, I do. Just clean the wings. I'm a monster when I eat those wings. But no, I agree with you. Like I always like whenever I get delivery, I'm expecting like Falls Church, Virginia or something like not no caller ID. That'd be sus. Like you're one on the side, like selling them. So really, everyone. Just kind of. Just didn't hear me. All good. Yeah, attendance was a little weak last night. I'm happy you guys are here. Yeah. It's a shit week, but oh well. This is really random. It's like a bunch of plastic knives. Have a little party. All right, I'll get started soon. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and So, how's it going, guys? Thanks for coming. I know this is a pretty crowded week with like midterms and stuff. Thanks for everybody showing up. I'll try and get you guys out of here a little bit early, but we'll do some cool stuff. So I think it'll be helpful. So once again, we'll start with like a little around the horn. Just 30 seconds, something cool that happened to you. If nothing that cool happened, you can pass. But yeah, so I'll start. I was really looking for like a early employee at like a startup, like a big startup. And I finally got like one good one. He was like one of the first employees at Priceline.com, a really big like entrepreneur guy. And he's been in other startups too. So that was really exciting for me. And he reached out to me, which is the crazy part. Yeah. And so we'll start with the Zoom people again. Alex, you want to start with something cool that happened this week?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. So one of the alumni that I reached out to just responded back, and she has like a really interesting position at McDonald's. So I'm going to try and set that up here in the next couple of weeks. She's pretty busy right now, but she seemed really interested.
That's awesome. Cool. Sweet. Now we'll go to Randy.
Yeah, so one of my biggest interests is music, and I was really looking for people who were also involved in the music industry but fell into my topic of bowling and entrepreneurship. And I found a very cool DJ who does a lot of big corporate events and reached out to him, and he's happy to interview with me. So that's great.
Awesome. That's sweet. Cool. Well, I'm going to start passing the computer around, so we'll go right here first.
What's up, guys? I guess I had another interview over the weekend, so yeah, it's good to keep going.
What's up? I had one interview on Sunday, which was really cool, actually, really cool guy. And I had one on Thursday that I completely forgot about, and then I emailed him, and he was so chill about it, so we're doing it again tomorrow, so yeah.
What's up? Today I actually had an interview with Taylor Swift's like former manager, which is pretty dope, because he was like a total dick over email and like hard to pin down, but he ended up giving me like good stories. I reached out to a former author who like wrote in the same area, like to have him like help me and like work through narrowing down my topic, because that was something that Eric and Carson that I had talked about. But then I had like 2 interviews with students. I was like mostly trying to use them to get to like other people, but it's interesting to hear their perspectives too. And I set up a couple of interviews for this week, so all good. Check it along.
Yeah. Alex, you want to tell us something cool that happened to you this week?
Yeah, what am I looking at?
This way. Yeah.
Hello. A lot of cool things happened this week. Coolest one is probably that I got to talk to Mike Pence, former chief of staff, who, although he's very not a fan of on-record interviews, is potentially going to give me the right to do a on-record interview this week.
Sweet. Cool. That's great news. Yeah. Well, oh geez, I don't know what happened there. Oops. The screen kind of froze. We're still going here, right? Yeah. Ooh, I don't know what just happened. All right, sorry, my Zoom was kind of freaking out. Yeah, but thanks for coming, guys. And what I think our next thing we want to do is probably if you just take like 30 seconds, go to your update rooms. You can do it on your phone if you want. Just drop something in there. Let us know whatever you want us to know. Like if you scheduled more interviews, if you've done more interviews, just kind of let us know where you're at. Make sure you tag everyone in your update room. Yeah, just give it like 30 seconds to do that. And feel free to keep doing it as we're going on. And Eric can't be here tonight again. This is not going to be like a normal thing. He'll be here most of the time. But that was a bad voice, right? But this week is this last couple weeks. Oh, hey, how's it going? The last couple weeks we've been having a lot of career institute stuff going on. So remind me your name again. Amanda, right? Yeah. Would you mind telling us something cool that happened to you this week?
This week was actually quite good.
Yeah, okay. No, that's fine. I mean, I definitely understand that. It was a bad week. Yeah, just search your name, update room. It'll come up. Yeah, all right, cool. And then, so we're going to have a video from Eric now. Yeah, here, let me get to it. And he'll be here like in the next couple weeks, just kind of a shit week again. Okay, let me set this up. Okay. Okay.
How's it going? Sorry if I didn't be there tonight. I will come for the pre-session a little bit, but wanted to kind of pre-record something with you guys. Just have a few things for Carson to play before the workshop tonight. But a couple quick things for you. You know, we're sort of in this really interesting spot, seeing all the progress you guys have made. You should be super excited. It's neat to sort of see you're talking to people, you're researching, you're interviewing, you're at this place where you're gonna have a lot of things to say when we start writing. So next week, we're starting writing stories, which is exciting and cool. We're going to be going through this sort of exercise for really about 2 months or so, where you're going to be writing stuff every week. And we've got a really cool sort of plan to keep you on pace. You're going to be able to use some of the winter break to be able to do this one, but it'll be exciting. I think a way for you guys to keep making progress. We're starting next week. And so really the goal is to get yourself to a place where you're ready to do that. And that's sort of why this has been structured this way. We want to make sure you have stuff to say. And so that's what this first month has been all about. So again, the goal for you before we start writing next week is really to have done some interviews, hopefully. Don't worry if you don't have many done or really any done, but just hopefully have some interviews done, because that's going to be one of the things we're going to write up. And then hopefully have some more interviews scheduled. Now, it's not to say you should stop continuing to reach out to people, add people as people say, hey, what about this person? Keep doing it. Continue to learn and get more stuff as you go. But that's really the core, is having some stuff. In addition, what we're going to do tonight is talk about this concept of secondary interviews. These are people who are like, listen, I'd really love to have them in my book, but either they don't connect with me or they're too big of a name. So who are those sort of 10 people you'd love to profile? We'll talk about doing secondary interviews tonight, and hopefully have sort of 2 to 3 of these done. We'll talk a little bit tonight about how to do them. So use some of the time to do that one, to basically kind of do the research you'll need to have the interview ready. We'll be doing that in about 2 weeks. Also include a list of personal stories. Now, about 40% of the stories will be interview-based. 40% will come from secondaries, from research-driven interviews, and 20% will be from you. These will be things you've had happen to you along the way, or things that have happened in your life that you'll include. And the last thing is, this week, we urge all of you to spend some time with your book advisor. You're not going to really be doing too much about what the book's about yet, but you will be using their insights to help you get more people to interview, as well as other people they think you should profile as these secondary interviews along the way. So that's really the core stuff to try and do this week to get yourself to a place where we're ready to start rocking and rolling on writing stuff. Again, don't worry if you feel like you're behind. Everyone's behind, frankly. Whenever they work on a book, you're always going to feel that way. But more importantly, know that part of this is about getting you to a place where you've got stuff that we can start to write, so that you're playing in that way. You're going to be kind of writing every week on these sorts of things, and this will give you a way to do it. So this is it. We want you to have a good base to start writing, knowing that you're going to keep adding knowledge and information along the way, but we want to have some stuff for you for these first couple of weeks as we go. So don't freak out if you don't have all these things. It's not really the goal, but if you do feel like you're kind of behind, right, you sort of have less than 4 interviews right now that you've scheduled, less than 4, grab 10 to 15 minutes with Carson. He can help you. He can help tap into my network, help you in other ways. But again, if you have less than 4 interviews that are scheduled at all, you're sort of struggling a bit, just grab some time. We'll make sure you get there. There's a reason we call him Coach Carson. He got all 25 authors from last semester over the line and had publishable manuscripts. So he can help you on that front. Feel free to reach out whenever. So here's what we're going to talk about. Tonight, I'm going to talk about 2 things, and then the workshop portion with Carson, he's going to kind of run you through a few of these things. We're going to talk about prepping for your book advisor meeting, which is something you should try and do this week, as well as how to do secondary interviews. And then the workshop portion, write up the list of the 10 secondaries you'd like to do at some point, and then try and see if you can accomplish 1 secondary interview tonight. It doesn't take a lot of time. It's just a little bit of research. And then when you write up the stories, great. Prepare your 1-pager for your advisor, and then reach out to the book advisor. All right. So how do you prepare for your book advisor meeting? Remember, these are people who are, teachers, professors, advisors generally, who you want to have help with along the way. You're going to meet with them 3 times, and this first meeting is really designed to show them what you've done and see if you can get help from them to get more people to interview and more people to potentially research. And here's the thing. Do not get in the trap of talking what your book is about yet. They're going to want to say, tell me what's your book about, like how's it organized, what's structured. I want you to go in and say, listen, it's still super early. I'm still in the research phase. At this point, I'm just learning a lot. Here's some of the people I've interviewed. Do you have more people I should interview, more people I should research? They're going to want to ask you what the book's about, but don't fall into that trap. Just respond with, I'm not totally sure yet. I'm still researching and learning. I'm learning lots of interesting stuff. Again, the focus for this meeting is to really tell them what you've done and prove to them that they should introduce you to more people to interview, and give you some recommendations of additional secondary interviews. That's the goal of extracting those 2 things. Who else should I interview that you know and you can introduce me to? And number 2, are there any recommendations that they have for additional secondary interviews? Again, just to say it out loud, don't get in the trap of trying to structure your book, figure out what the table of contents is, what's the big idea behind it. You're just too early. Just admit that. Say, listen, probably in a couple of weeks when I come back, I'll know more. But for now, I just wanted to kind of share where I'm at, get your help on what more research and interviewing I should do. So secondary interviews. That's the other thing that you're going to start to do. Now, remember, you're not going to be able to interview everyone you want to feature in your book. So we do something called secondary interviews to help you sort of write and tell stories in a way that's sort of simulated as if you interviewed someone. Because there's a lot of really great content out there. You just have to extract and package it up in a way that fits into it. Now, one of the questions that I oftentimes get is, well, Eric, listen, someone already told this story. Am I plagiarizing it to take that story from a speech or a podcast interview and include it in my book? Absolutely not. Think of this as a way that you're going to tell that story and tell it in your own way and cite where you got that information from. So if you got some of this from a speech that they gave, or you got some of this from a podcast interview they gave, or a blog post they did, you should make sure to document that and share, this quote came from here, this stuff came from here. But again, don't worry about the fact that it's already been told somewhere else. Why should you feature your book? You're going to use it to sort of provide evidence of what you're doing. So you want to tell the best stories about someone. So if there's someone interesting who you can't get access to, but you really want to tell their stories, tell them. Find the best stories and do it in that way. Now, the key thing to understand when you're looking for stories is you really want to make sure that you're not getting just kind of general opinions, and instead you're getting specific stories. Now, what makes the difference from a story versus an opinion or narrative is that it has a date and a location. You want things that happen. I want to tell you how we founded our company. I want to tell you about that time when I did this surgery. I want to tell you about that time. That's the sort of things you're looking for. You're looking for things that will have a date and a location. So if you listen to something, you don't hear a date and a location, or you can't kind of guess when the date and location would be, it's probably not a story. That's more of an opinion. So you're looking for specific stories. Now, where do you find them? Where's the best places to be hunting for secondary stories? Look for interviews that people have done on YouTube. Oftentimes, fireside chat style kind of interviews or conferences are great. Those are really good places to go. If the person is given a TED-like talk, that can be really good. And if they've appeared on a podcast, you can get really, really great content from a podcast, kind of hearing them tell stories. So again, those are places to go. Look for those things. look for transcriptions if you don't want to listen to the whole thing, but that's a good place to find really interesting things. Again, don't worry about if it's sort of something else that you're hearing a story from somewhere else and retelling it. That's perfect. That's really good stuff. You're going to package up those stories in that way. Now, once you have that story, again, that's the first thing. If let's say that you want to do an interview with, I don't know, Joe Rogan, and you find an interesting story that Joe Rogan gave when he was interviewed on a podcast, great. That's what you've got that now. And I did this exactly for one of the really good stories in my book from Hasan Minhaj. I wanted to interview Hasan, but he's the Daily Show correspondent, now has his own show. And so I heard a really great interview he gave with Gary Vaynerchuk on his podcast. And so I looked at that. I also saw some stuff he'd done in another interview he'd done. I pulled up together a story, and then I sent it to him. Now, I know he read the message, he didn't get back to me, but at least I sent it to him. So that's the way to think about finding that story. Now, how do you supplement it for yourself? Well, you want to try and get other stuff that you can make this more rich in your own way. So you want to find quotes from other sources, right? I said that I got the bulk of my story about Hasan from his Gary Vee interview, but I also found other things from his own YouTube page. I found things from another interview he'd given to do those ones. So find other quotes that are just out there and interesting. And then there's oftentimes rich background stuff that you can pull in. Find things about the person, look at their Wikipedia page, a biography on their website, their LinkedIn, see if you can find information about them that can make this more robust. Hasan attended college at University of California, Davis. He was also the president and the founder of the comedy club at UC Davis, right? That sort of stuff can make my story richer. And then also look for kind of background on the location and the place and the date that this sort of story took place in. So Google the location or look it up on Google Maps, get insurance to see if you can find things about the restaurant where this thing happened at, or what was it about the student union at UC Davis that you might want to include. And then also if there's relevant news from that time period, at that time it was also the height of blank, or this was going on, those things can round that. Those are the ways that you can supplement. So that's the big stuff that I have for you guys. I hope this is helpful. Again, tonight, find out ways to make sure that you kind of get yourself updated on all the things that are going on. Keep booking interviews, putting that in details in. Keep your sessions updated there on all of the things you have going on. Let us know how your interviews are going. Number two, make sure you get some time scheduled with your book advisor and share the kind of the status of where you are. All of you will be super excited to get the feedback on how much you've done in a short period. And then third, see if you can wind up getting a couple of secondary stories. I know it's a busy time. I know it's sort of midterm for a lot of people, and that's okay. Remember, this process is designed to be flexible and fluid. We want to get you to a place where you can begin writing, but all of you are in a good place right now. Our goal is to kind of keep building momentum. We don't want you to get behind because it's sort of, there's just a feeling of being caught and catching up. So we'd love for you to have, half a dozen or so interviews that are scheduled or more. Really, the target is by the end of next week, having at least 10 interviews that are scheduled. That's a really great place. If you do that one, you're home free. So those are the big things. Try and get that stuff ready to go, and super excited to see where things are going. It's awesome to see all the updates. Keep me posted on any cool things that happened, and we'll see you guys all next week. Next week, I'll be there live for the session and I'll walk you guys through some of the core things that we'll get to. Good stuff, guys.
All right. So yeah, just to reiterate some of that stuff. I mean, he's right. Secondary interviews are really important, but they are a little bit tricky in some ways because they're. It's kind of vicarious information. So that's what we're going to be doing next. As part of our workshop, we're going to start working on some secondary interviews. And what I mean by that is find 10 cool people that have something to do with your topic, obviously, that you really wish you could interview, but likely are not going to be able to. And these can be big names. They can be Elon Musk, Bill Gates, all that kind of stuff. Doesn't really matter who. And then just kind of start populating your research dashboard. That was one of the templates that we gave you in your author materials folder. If you want to look at that. And try and so I'll give you guys until 5:30, 5:35. And this is really important just to make sure you start populating your research dashboard, and from there focus in on one or two names, preferably just one, and just start looking up stories for them, and try and find a good story and try and find supplemental information about that story. And once you do that, that's one of your that's one of your secondary interviews done, and we want you to have 2 or 3 by next week. So pretty easy. So I'll give 15 minutes for that. Please ask me questions as you have them. Yeah. Anyone have any questions right now? He asked where we should write everything. You can create your own separate quick document. You can write it in like Word. Just make sure you know where it is. So yeah. And
research dashboard is
yeah, and secondary interviews. I can walk you guys through that if you want me to. Let me pull it up. So yeah, so just give about 15 minutes on that. And like literally like, for example, I was looking up Peter Thiel last night because he's big in the venture capital. I just looked up like Peter Thiel stories and I found like a really good one just from looking up like his name and stories. So it's not like really difficult, but yeah. If you need like advice or anything, just ask me. I'll kind of show off what the research dashboard looks like because somebody asked while you guys are starting to work. So this is what it looks like, right? I haven't really put a ton in it yet. Probably should have. But anyways, you just put like the people you want to research. All these are like big names, obviously, in like the venture capital or like startup world. Then you put the title of the article or whatever it is, like whether you read it. Then you have to outline the story, then a summary of it, and then it just starts turning into the interview dashboard, right? Like story idea 1, story idea 2. It's basically like, I mean, it's literally like simulated an interview without actually doing it based on stories they've told already. And someone asked last night, like, isn't this just appropriation? And it's like, it's not quite. If you cite everything properly, then you will have no issues. And we're going to make sure you do that. So, yeah, just go for whatever regarding stories, literally any story. So, yeah. Any questions from any of the Zoom people? Doesn't seem like it, so. Of course, trash. So I'll give you another 10 minutes to do that.
Hey, Carson, where do we find the secondary interviews page?
It's a research dashboard. It's in your our material, under your author materials in your Get Smart phase, right next to your interview dashboard and stuff.
Okay, perfect.
Did you find it?
Yeah.
All right, cool. And also see if you haven't put anything in the update room. If you haven't yet, just feel free to do that. Just let us know where you're at with whatever.
we pulling from multiple sources? Is everyone about?
So you don't want to he's asking about whether you should pull in multiple sources. You don't want to base your entire story on one article, but yeah, in general, you should probably bring in some more supplemental information. That's kind of what he was talking about with what the restaurant looks like in the college, or what the union looks like, because he wants you to make it feel like you're actually there. Yeah. So just little things. It doesn't have to be a whole article about the story. It can just be things you find from it. So yeah. We'll give it a minute to wrap up. Do you guys want a little more time, or is anybody? Yeah. As long as you know what you're doing, that's the important part. It's just really important to find people to populate your dashboard with, and then start looking for stories. We want hopefully 2 or 3 by next week. It's really just kind of identifying stories. It's not really writing a lot on your own. The next thing's probably a little more important for this session. All right. So we'll stop with that. Yeah, those are. I just want to iterate, like, those are very important. The next thing we'll do. I don't know if many of you guys watched the video that I sent out on Friday. Definitely encourage you to do that in the future, by the way. But we're going to start preparing your one pager, I guess. You can like create this in Quip or whatever, but the point of this is to summarize the work you've done and summarize the work you're going to be doing, and then bring it to your book advisor that you're going to hopefully be meeting with within the next couple of weeks. The idea, I mean, the one pager, like, once again, as Eric was saying, you don't want to tell what your book is about, but just kind of summarize what you've done, like who you've interviewed, what research dashboard, or sorry, secondary interviews you've done, who you're looking at doing, who you're trying to. The point of this one is for them to help you, right? Like they want you want to like get them to hopefully recommend someone cool, or like give you a really good advice for like a good person to do a secondary interview about, because maybe they heard some cool story or something. So honestly, hopefully you know what you've done so far and know what you plan to do, so this shouldn't be too hard. But if we want to spend the next like 10 minutes to like basically make the one pager, and then we'll call it a day. So yeah, sorry Ferris, it's like cool computer. But yeah, so let's do that. Like 5:40, 5:41, I guess. I don't know. We'll sum it up around then. But please do this. It'll be very helpful when you're going to your book advisor, which we expect you to do in the next couple of weeks. Yeah, what's up? You have a question?
Should we have already reached out?
He asked if you already reached out to somebody. Honestly, like, no, like you don't have to, but definitely try to soon. Someone else last night asked the same question. Like, if you don't have anyone yet, like, not a big deal, but definitely start reaching out. Yeah. Yeah, just like the interviews you've done, the research, the secondary interviews you've done, people you reached out to.
Are we just creating like the one?
Yeah, like not too difficult, like not too specific. Just, but we want you to do it now, so you don't like.
Paragraph?
It's not exactly a page, but yeah, like not enough to make it look like you've done a lot of work so far, which you guys have. But also like leave it open for them to help you out a little bit. You're not talking about your topic, you're talking about like getting more people to research. Yeah. You want to talk, like you want to have like, you can't say nothing about your topic. You have to say, yeah, like what you're exploring, but don't delve into the weeds. Did you? Yeah, professors, it doesn't have to be a professor. It can be like a teacher from like high school even, or like a professor at another school that like, somehow, preferably like an academic rather than a professional, but we can make exceptions if you have someone really good in mind. So yeah. Yeah, we want to get you to do this like before the writing stories phase, because they can probably help a lot. Yeah. So give you like 5-10 minutes to do that. Anyone have any like questions about the one page or anything? I just want to give you like a little bit of time now, just because you might forget to do it later, and so this is just like a good solid 10 minutes to hopefully get part of it done. And yeah, if you guys have any like trouble like thinking about who you should get a book advisor or like who that book advisor should be, just reach out to me. I can try and help you out best, or Eric too. He knows a lot of Georgetown faculty, so we can try and set you up if needed. And just any concerns in general. I know it's a pretty busy time right now, but we won't know if you're falling behind unless you tell us. So yeah. Okay, start wrapping up, and then I'll give my like closing remarks. Okay, so yeah, no, but thanks for coming, guys, this week. I just want to tell you it's really important that you start working on these secondary interviews. I know it's a very, very busy time right now with midterms, and I hope you guys like obviously spend your time on that. But try and like bang one of these out. Like they're not too hard. They hopefully should take like each one. A very good one will like still take less than an hour, and we only want like 2 this week. And so, yeah, I mean, and also just keep doing interviews. If you have any concern about those, let Eric know. Just drop something in your updates rooms. I'll probably be going through those the next couple of days and reaching out if I have any concerns. But yeah, is there any questions before we wrap up? All right, great. Just to reiterate, make sure you get that one pager done and start meeting with your faculty advisor. Get like 2 to 3 secondary interviews or more done for next week, and try and have 10 scheduled by next week. All of you are doing great so far. I'm really excited to see a lot of your progress. A lot of cool stuff's happening, and good luck on midterms. I know it's a very busy time right now, but we'll all get through it. So yeah. All right. Have a good one, guys. Yeah. See ya.